For those of you who are saying things like, oh, I'd never fight again, and she should stop fighting. That's a ridiculous thing to say. Egypt has been training, and I think she was ready to make her debut. I actually think that Chrisean would have made a perfect match for her, but she was just paired up with the wrong person for her first fight. She is nowhere near ready for that caliber of an opponent. Hopefully, they know this now. My problem is Sam should know that. He claims to know about boxing. He claims to be a fighter. Why would you pair her with an Olympian champion? Why? For her debut. I think that her and Chrisean would have made the perfect first time matchup. And I do believe Egypt would have stomped Chrisean. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all are saying because it is, Chrisean would have whooped her. No. Egypt has been training to fight professionally, right? Chrisean, y'all got little short clips here and there her online from just wild, random, and staged stuff. That's not the same. That's not the same. But I do think that they were scared. The team was scared. They picked someone who was a gimmick and someone who they could control the outcome of the fight. And I think that eventually Chrisean and Egypt should fight each other if Chrisean does not end up going to jail for the neglect and abuse of her son. Now, Egypt and her mom and her brother did a post-fight little small short interview, and it was interesting. Check it out.
Coogan Cassius IFL TV here at Misfits. Wow, royalty in the house.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. This is amazing.
Sorry, let's talk about your daughter first of all. It wasn't to be her night tonight. Is she okay?
Yes, she is. You know what? I love that her opponent was who she was. You know, for her first fight to come out and to be fighting against a, two-time gold medalist, kickboxing champion, all above. And here she is. She came out. She showed courage, and she wanted it, and she had the grit. And I saw even when she got hit, she got mad, and that's what I was like, she crazy.
We spoke to her yesterday. One thing, obviously, we know her background. We know you as a mother, father, etc. But she didn't want to be known as that. She wanted to be known as what she can do in the ring. It wasn't her night, but listen, things happen in boxing, yeah, she'll accept that.
Yes, and in her case, I feel it was a win-win. Win is she win, but redemption is also sweet because of, this is her first time. It was a real fight. It was and she was in there, she wanted it, and she still wanted. And she's like, I'm coming back. I'm going to train even harder. And I was like, go girl. That's what we do.
Well, look, we're going to try and get a word with her. She's up for talking, but obviously, it was a disappointing night, but try and pick the positives from the night.
I'm sorry, say that.
Try and pick the positives from tonight.
Yes, it's positive. I love it. I'm glad that it wasn't a nobody or somebody, nobody. I'm glad who she fought. So that is respect. And she wanted it. She knew who she was, and she still wanted it. And she, with more training, she had on a little 3 weeks. She had like 3 weeks, 2 kids in college, at a university. I'm like, what are you doing? But you know what? That's all great. Now she has had a taste of it, and she says she still want to go for it, and she's going to come back stronger, she said.
Where is she? Oh, perfect timing.
It's so crazy because, her husband fight, her brother fights, and then here she goes, was supposed to be singing, and now she's fighting. So I'm like, oh my God.
She's there.
Yeah.
Can she sit there?
Yes,
yeah. Egypt. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm still very, very proud of myself. I got my feet wet against a 2-time Olympian gold medalist beast, and she did amazing. She did her thing. She's gonna owe me a drink later, so I love it. No, this was a great fight camp, honestly. We had our 2 baby girls. We both got accepted into college, so we've still been doing university, doing work, being full-time parents, and training hard. So I'm really just proud of myself that I got to do everything and still come in here and display everything I have just to keep going and get better.
Egypt, you said to me yesterday that, look, forget the background. My mum's this and my dad's that. But this was about what you wanted to do tonight.
Yes, exactly. This is all about me. And I honestly had fun. It doesn't even matter the result. I'm still going to come in here. I still, once the jersey in me is like, all right, well, you got to come back and get your get back at some point to whoever. So I just know I'm going to keep going hard, keep training hard, not letting it faze me, and just go out there and just be better, the best I can be.
Let's bring husband in. You're proud of her, surely?
I'm 100% proud on her. Me and her made one deal when we walked into this camp, when we walked into this journey. Either you go out on your shield or you put her on it. We're honorable in this world. We're honorable in this fight camp. We're honorable in just this sport. We respect it. And honestly, I couldn't ask for a better wife, better partner. This is what we do. Of course, I'm going to come back and hurt somebody because of it. But I'm waiting.
We're on your side, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No worries. They're going to bring me in. They're going to bring my brother in. They're going to bring my other brother in here. And we're going to come and take this over. She just came to let them know we got heart in this camp. And we don't stop.
And Steph, obviously, you stayed in. I love that. You know, that was my main thing.
I know. She was. That's all she said.
Don't tire out. Don't tire out.
She said, "Get your cardio up. You just keep running out there." And I did. But I loved it though. My heart is everything to me, and I just gonna keep going and growing it.
And can I add, this is her first fight ever in her life?
Ever. On the street.
On the street. She never no street fighting.
Boxing.
No nothing. And she was in there. Look at that.
Be proud of yourself, Egyt.
I'm very proud no matter what.
Be proud of yourself.
I was hugging my opponent. She's so proud of me. She was like, "Girl, I couldn't get you out." She was like, "I was really trying a lot of the time, but then it took a while." So I really respected that and appreciated that.
All right, well, look, the main event's about to start. I'm going to ask you to do something, though. I'm going to ask you to do something. Give us one verse. What a man. Just give us one verse.
So there you have it. Egyt is here to stay, and if you've been, tagging along on her journey, she is definitely dedicated to this, as she should be. And it's unfortunate what happened, but this is what we would expect to happen with the ratio of her and her opponent. It was just, I don't know what in the world. And Sam, honestly, I don't see how this could have been a mistake. That was crazy. That was crazy to pair her up with someone who is an Olympian champion for her I'm talking about very first fight. But I'm glad she got her fight in. So now she's in there and she can see where she needs to step it up at. And hopefully she gets good coaching, better coaching. Sam, you may need to step aside because this was obviously a horrible decision. I could definitely understand wanting to take on something to get her in there. I do think Criss should have been it. But, at the same time, she took what she decided to take. I wonder what Trish thinks about this, though. Not her fighting, I'm sure he knows that, but just the fact that the wrong opponent was picked. Boxing is a combat sport. She could have got hurt, so that's not cool. And I see, listen, if y'all been following along, Sam been bragging that he's a fighter. I don't know of any of his fights, but he wants to get into. And I'm just hoping that he didn't put Egypt in this position because they didn't find another opponent so that they could get a foot in the door while he's talking about, me and my brothers are coming to take it over and all this other kind of stuff. Hopefully the boy got some skills. And no, she didn't fight on the show Growing Up Hip Hop. She snuffed Brianna and she ran. So I know we all remember that. Sam was definitely a problem. And he was trying to tell her to be Pepa, with the dog whistle and the snap of the fingers. And he was telling her to turn up on Brianna and to attack her, which is crazy. And Sam, we're watching you. And, this isn't a good look. For any of us who's trying to give you grace, this is not a good look. Because this should not have been her first fight. So there's no way you can tell me that you just made an error in judgment. No, this was careless, and you cannot play around with her health in her life. So now you're pretty much back on our bad side for those of us who is trying to cut you some slack. So walk on eggshells from now and get your shit together, and let's get her a real team.